Welcome to today's transmission of the Ministry of Assumption Absolute. My name is francois.mateo.lstj, a spiritual epidemiologist, and I appreciate you for co-creating this moment with me. If you are still trying to manifest, then you're already doing things backwards. You're probably not seeing any results. That's the reason you clicked on this video. So we're going to engage some new concepts, some new understandings to help you materialize with less effort, for that to be smooth and fluid rather than you feeling like you're trying to do something. Because as long as you, and this is the base of it. I mean, we're a minute in, this is the base of it. As long as you're trying to do something, as long as you and your state of being and your state of exercised awareness are trying to do anything, you will stay in a state of trying and of doing in order to create an aim, or as I like to call it, doing to get. As long as you're doing to get, you're in a state of not having, because you're starting with an I am awareness that says I am not. So I have to do this thing, and this goes for techniques. This goes for if you're pursuing somebody and you feel like you have to chase them, or you're waiting on a response for them, if you're waiting for the employer to hit you back and tell you that you got the job, if you're waiting on something, if you're somebody who's saying, I am waiting, I am trying, I am doing to get, then you're already losing. Then you're already, when I say losing, you're not a loser. Don't identify that way, but you're already in a state of not having all that you desire, all that you are. And it's realizing that I am that now. There is no self. And this is what you have to understand, because when I talk to individuals, a lot of really what holds them back is the ego trying to play the safety game, play the familiarity game, play the I'm not doing anything wrong game, playing the truly, and I don't like to use this word, but it is the most accurate word. It's because I used to do a lot of coaching on this in the mindset world, and I've accepted that era of my life existed. I've come to terms with it, but man, I look back and I'm like, ooh, I was thinking the slice was the total, was the whole, but victimization, like the world is happening to me when I speak to individuals. A lot of, in the field of mental wellness, a lot of what keeps them contained within their current reality is, but I'm trying, but I'm working on it. Like, I'll point out, because as a spiritual epidemiologist, what I do is I trace and identify the patterns of narrative and conditioning that are creating dis-ease and disharmony, and show individuals that they can be their own cure, that they are their own Messiah, that they are divinity incarnate, that they are everything that can be, but they've just got a localized focus of I am awareness on a particular set of outcomes that are unfavorable and are creating more bullshit, basically, more things that are not conducive to the highest aim, to the highest intent. And so when I help them trace these patterns, these belief systems, and there's only the now moment. So when we talk about reprogramming the subconscious, what we're talking about is choosing and choosing and choosing again. When you find that your mind is going back to that old narrative, and that old narrative has been programmed by repetition, it's not that you have to spend years, or at least it's my understanding, not that you need to spend years undoing that, but that it can look like a series or a process of reprogramming, because what you're doing is coming back to the now moment, coming back to the I am, coming back to right here, and deciding who you are outside of the context of the past that really only exist if we're looking at time as reality, if we're looking at memory as reality, which it is not. It is a representation of reality. It is a representation that we have to contend with in this realm of separation, but it is not the truth. Rather than allowing that past and those memories to define the self, we come back to the state of I am, to the present moment, to the God within, over and over and over again, which can look like a process of reprogramming, but it is really just choosing again. So, call it what you want to call it. But I speak to individuals, and I, so I'm listening. Like, that's what I'm good at, is I'm listening to how they're talking about their situation. And then I'm pointing out that, okay, well, here are the patterns, that I hear, and identifying what you're saying about your reality. And it's like, no, but I'm trying. No, but I'm working on it. It's always, no, but I'm trying. Well, I think I have been making some progress, and that's immediately, the ego buffing up and saying, I deserve to stay in this state of lack and limitation because I am working on it. Here's what hasn't been working outside of me because I'm doing the work. Like, there's no work to do. There's no work to do. You don't manifest out of poverty. You realize you're already wealthy. We're not changing, like, this set of material circumstances that you're living right now cannot be changed. You can tune to a new frequency where those circumstances are no longer the case, but you cannot change the current circumstances as they are. Once something has materialized, it's already dead. It's in the state of, this was what my old consciousness was. And, this right here, what I'm about to say, this is the key for consideration. This is what you need to write down. You need to write this down. There is no self. There are only ideas of experience. And when you recognize that and you realize that your ego is just a coagulation of stories, is a coagulation of ideas that create a story, then you're not fighting. You don't have to fight to recreate a new self-identity. Your self-identity is just a coagulation of ideas. The ego is just are just ideas of experience. So what you do as you're trying to manifest, there's nothing to manifest. You allow yourself to feel the presence of new ideas, to be in the presence of new ideas of experience right here, right now, because the kingdom is within. The ideas of experience that you entertain on a basis of repetition, on a basis of assignment of truth to your I am, that is what you're seeing. What you're certain of is what you're seeing. That is a key for consideration. Write that down. That is what you're seeing. What you're certain of is what you're seeing. It's not just the ideas and the thoughts and the emotions. I call it a field when we talk about I like that word coagulation. That's the word of this transmission. But, all of the coagulation, all of the collection of your ideas and your emotions and what you've assigned to be truth about the world and about other people and about yourself and about how they engage with you. But all that comes back to, and this is if you watch the video on the, 8 keys of initiation to your afterlife, the first one is that you're all of everything. You are it. Your state of I am, what you decide, is what you will see. But it's not something that you just decide as a passing thought, because it's not the thoughts that are doing creation. It is the truth that you assign to those thoughts. It is the validity you assign to those thoughts. It is your acceptance and agreement to your state of I am, what you say that you are, what you decide your experience is. What are your ideas of experience? Your ideas of experience do not have to be defined by other people. They do not have to be defined by circumstance, so long as you choose that those are not the definitive factors. You have to be your own definitive factor. So as long as you're trying to manifest, you are defining yourself as somebody. You are saying, I am trying. So you're going to continue to stay in a state of struggle, because you're saying that, I am not somebody who has, I am somebody who is efforting to get. I am somebody who is doing to get. So you are going to stay in a state of doing to get. And you remember that the circumstance is not God. The circumstance is not the all. The circumstance is the illusory. The circumstance is the cooked meal. You're the ingredients. It's you. It's all coming from your assignment of truth, of who you say that you are. You are the God of your reality. You are your own Messiah. You are your own Savior. There's nobody that's going to come down and save you from the government and from the economy and from all of your self-inflicted negativities and personality ailments. There's no one coming. It's you. You are the Savior. So if you're trying to manifest, you're already screwing it up. And I don't say that to tell you you're screwing it up like you're screwing it up. What I mean is that your job is to be a new idea of experience, and you be that now. That idea of experience is not representative, it is not rather dependent, is not dependent upon the circumstance. The circumstance will come, meaning the materialization of your idea of experience, so long as you agree and Cosign, as I talked about, is your ego cosigns, your ego being that coagulation of the ideas of experience. As long as your ego cosigns your ideas of experience, you will see it. And it's also accepting that, it's not questioning it. It will be the case. But if you're looking and you're checking, then you've immediately stepped out of that idea of experience and that truth, and you're saying, I wonder if it's here yet. You've immediately stepped out of it, so you come back to it. There is no self. There is only ideas of experience, meaning that you can assign a quote unquote new self, a new coagulation of ideas of experience to yourself at any point in time. You are not bound to the past, and you are not bound to circumstance no more than you say that you are. You are not bound to trying. You are not bound to efforting. You're not bound to working on it so much as you choose not to assign that reality to yourself. So that's what I've got for you today on the Ministry of Assumption Absolute. I'm here to encourage you in knowing with empowered conviction the truth of your transcendent divinity, how to live as the love, as the expression of love that you already are, because you are an individualized expression of God. Remember to be good to yourselves and others, because everybody's just a version of you anyway.